No executive playbook predicted this pivot. No trend report foresaw the quiet calculus behind it. But now, with streaming charts, tour receipts, and market data laid bare, the decision that redefined SB19's trajectory comes into sharp focus. What surfaced wasn't mere regional play. It was a calculated foundation that outpaced flashier paths to supposed stardom. Observed by analysts who track rises and collapses, this wasn't impulse. It was foresight. So, what made this choice stand apart, and why does it ripple through strategies for eyeing the world stage? If breakdowns grounded in market realities drive your feed, tap like and subscribe. We don't amplify buzz. We unpack what sustains dominance. Fan energy ignites sparks, but it doesn't forge empires. In music, breakthroughs don't stick on viral waves alone. They endure through decisions that align talent with economics. That's why this revelation cuts deep. When data aligns with execution, perceptions shift not from cheers, but from cold metrics. These aren't surface numbers. They're the kind that forecast viability over hype. Approval here isn't flashy. It's foundational. Public cheers mark peaks. Strategic mastery builds plateaus. Fans amplify what's visible. Markets reward what's scalable. That gap defines longevity. SB19 never doubted their draw, but their early pivot marked a rarer milestone, command over their expansion. The reveal of this path wasn't timed for peaks. It emerged in hindsight, when patterns clarified amid settled campaigns. That pause signals certainty. No rush to claim credit. Just evidence stacking silently. When choices at this scale surface, they don't just recount moves. They reset benchmarks. This isn't speculation. It's the mechanics of momentum. Global ambition wasn't built for spectacle. It was engineered for endurance. Beneath the charts and routes lay evaluators, promoters, streamers, regional scouts who've gauged every wave. This wasn't a lenient arena. It was one that weighs sustainability in the margins. Platforms like these test not just appeal, but architecture. One alignment unlocks circuits, revenue streams, and cross-border pipelines. A misstep locks them shut. No retries. Acts either embed or fade. That's the pressure SB19 faced. They weren't charting for metrics. They were positioning for architects who nod only at proof. Insiders approached with tempered views. Decades of patterns had wired caution, particularly for independent acts. The default lens, fervent bases, sharp aesthetics, tight operations, yet fragile reach beyond origins. Not bias. Just data from cycles past. That lens cracked swiftly. What registered first wasn't output. It was orientation. No overreach, no forced projection, just assured navigation. Their trajectory signaled grasp of terrain and its demands. A pivot point arrived, understated yet pivotal, when the old model dissolved. SB19 weren't awaiting clearance. They weren't pitching promise. They advanced with frameworks matching the arena. This wasn't presumption. It was poise. The insider later framed it crisply: they didn't approach as outsiders. They aligned as equals. That nuance registers. In strategic spheres, endorsement isn't dispensed freely. It's detected, probed, and extended deliberately. SB19 secured it unprompted. Not via volume, but via vector. And with that shift, discourse evolved from interest to integration. Off-chart dynamics reveal true calibration. They're where plans expose if they're scripted or instinctive. For those tracking SB19's early maps, the offstage layers proved equally revealing as the visible gains. Their sequencing was methodical, streamlined. No disarray, no evident strain. Each step owned its lane, its rhythm, its linkage. Refinements flowed without discord. This wasn't a unit steered reactively. It was a machine self-regulating. Ties to networks registered fast. Courteous, pointed, operational, no posturing, no overreach. As key players circulated, SB19 engaged organically, no cling or contrivance. That equilibrium is scarce and keenly tracked. There was steadiness, not void of tension, but mastery over it. Amid shifting variables and compressed windows, SB19 held core. That hold under load signals maturity past headlines. Gatekeepers grasp this, path choices predict persistence. Plenty can surge in spotlight. Fewer sustain when scrutiny cools. What emerged wasn't just acumen. It was architecture. And in ventures staked on uncertainty, architecture trades like gold. True architects don't declare off-path. They demonstrate in shadows. Initially, responses stayed neutral. Acknowledgement flickered. Records captured. This mirrored protocol for observers schooled in restraint. But mid-sequence, a turn registered unmistakable. Devices lowered. Passive watchers angled in. Exchanges hushed. The air compressed. Not from escalation or flare, but from refinement. Each marker hit with purpose. Each data point bore weight sans excess. This transcended solid execution. It was calibrated command. What elevated SB19 then was equilibrium. They fused drive with discipline, surge without scatter. The path didn't pursue metrics. It directed them. That divide lands heavy in refined domains where inflation flags weakness. For the observer, clarity dawns softly. Not in peaks or surges, but in uniformity. Zero lulls, zero pivots, zero work, just relentless hold. That's when it crystallized, this unit wasn't angling for notice. They were owning the field. By finale, judgment had set. The arena grasped the calibration before motion stirred or voice rose. In high-stakes mapping, trajectory isn't mere delivery. It's perception. Gauging evaluators like this demands acuity honed by iteration. SB19 executed it with striking finesse. They tuned cadence live, intuiting breath points and thrust phases. Connection landed deliberate, guided, reciprocal. Drive crested and eased in tandem with the arena's pulse, not opposition. This marks division, where adepts drill rigid lines heedless of frame. Masters modulate. SB19 modulated seamlessly. They knew this audience sought no dazzle. It demanded conviction. What struck deepest was SB19's read on observers. They didn't chase peaks or proximals. They orchestrated the full field, inclusive of silent arbiters who steer sans fanfare. The observer distilled it, they navigated like units versed in worldwide circuits. Not reaching, not yearning, equipped. That field acumen isn't chance. It's forged in regimen, cycles, and faith in form. This was design. Pressed for context, the evaluators skipped hyperbole. They invoked parallels. And there the weight clarifies. SB19 evaded rookie gauges. They matched against entrenched Western and Asian machines grinding global lanes. What pierced wasn't volume or visuals. It was optimization. SB19 landed force sans surplus. Where seasoned units lean on scale to veil gaps, SB19's core shone in seamless links, pure delivery, and intent motion. Zero bloat. Zero import. That jolted the field. Veterans anticipate sheen from such units, but not fluency. SB19 embodied both. They didn't traverse like squads acclimating to foreign grids. They owned them innately. This sparked post-map queries, not identities, but histories and scaffolds. Those aren't casual. They're build queries. The evaluator nailed it, they slot into prime circuits unchanged. That lands seismic, erasing ramp phases. SB19 skips emerging. They function at operational tiers. The sharpest signals post-field weren't overt. They brewed in aftermath, risers, extensions, clustered discourse. Not brash, but purposeful. Here, true traction seeds. No broadcasts, no instant print. Rather, overtures, discrete links, deferred dialogues. Some evaluators linked direct with SB19 score. Others gauged afar, a tell of profound stake in these circles. Quiet here isn't apathy. It's a say. Discourse pivoted hardest. Pre-pattern, SB19 framed in triumphs in traction. Post? Focus locked on expansion, dependability, slot fit. Terms signaling not fleeting glances, but anchored bets. None trended. No clips lit feeds. That's the essence, genuine traction simmers private. It brews in threads, pings, closed loops unseen publicly. The sort surfacing later as unbidden doors. Thus careers scale elite. Packed seed not in lights, but murmurs. Choices like this don't yield instant yields. Impact crystallizes in softened terms, swift gates, eased pitches sans-proof burdens. That's SB19's pivot potency. Trust recalibrates power. Post-decision, SB19 sheds seeker. They register asset. That reframes route talks, alliance bids, border blueprints. Hazards ease. Terms extend. Clocks quicken. Pinoy motifs, bold identity Asia conquered undiluted. West met normalized sound. No tweaks. Audiences bent. Command. Data edge genius. Asia primacy amass streams, tour polls, merch yields, fan maps. Leverage born, keen deals, sharp routes, firm bargains. West entry? Not please, proofs. Metrics here. Shift. Longevity shield paramount. West haste sparks overstretch, overspend, core loss, spark fade. SB19 scaled paced each rung bolstered, Asia bestowed scale, fealty, endurance. Genius? Entry anywhere now, not novices. Force proven. This path's quiet power, undeniable without din. No overclaim. No sell. Real advances wordless. Industry salutes rarity. If this unpacks resonated, like, subscribe, comment, should Axe mirror SB19's Asia anchor? Smartest global snow terrains.